Hello, Radiant One, and welcome to The Spiritual Business with Maria Saraphina, the show and podcast for soul-driven, heart-based spiritual entrepreneurs and Magdalens rising, ready to grow and expand from within, and wanting to lead with love in business and life. I am your host, spiritual business coach, mentor, catalyst, and facilitator, Maria Saraphina, and it is my deep honor, my great pleasure, and joy to share this episode with you. If you feel the deep stirrings of something new asking to be born through you, go to mariasarafina.com/DCIA to download the free guide, Divine Clarity and Inspired Action that I have created for you. Divine Clarity and Inspired Action will help you connect deeply with your divine feminine essence of gnosis, wisdom, knowledge, and intuition, as well as activate your divine masculine essence of action, creation, expansion, foundation, and building, so that you may experience the satisfaction and the liberation that comes from living your truth, from bringing to life that which you're here to birth, while being, doing, and living your soul's divine purpose. On my website, you will also find show notes, transcripts, and previous episodes. Also, if you're a Magdalene rising or have been called by the Magdalene, you may want to check out my other show and podcast, The Magdalene Voices, where I share sacred conversations with beautiful, illuminating souls, as well as insightful inspiration to nourish every cell of your body, every fiber of your being, every aspect of your soul and existence through lifetimes past, present, and future. You can go to my website, mariasarafina.com, for links to everywhere it's being broadcasted. Finally, as always, I encourage you to listen with an open heart and an open mind, and take only what serves you and leave the rest. I am not your guru, nor am I your teacher. Instead, let me serve you as your guide, your catalyst, and facilitator, so that which you're here to birth might find its expression in the world the only way that it can. Through you. Here is today's episode. Hello, Radiant One, and a very big and a very warm welcome into this episode of the Spiritual Business Show and Podcast with Maria Saraphina. Today I have a very big and somewhat scary announcement. And that is that the Spiritual Business Show and Podcast is evolving and moving into a different format. If you follow me, or if you follow the Magdalene Voices, my other show and podcast, you may already know this, and this may not come as a surprise to you, but I shared recently that the Magdalene Voices, the show and podcast that I've been very honored to hold space for and steward for the past 3-ish years, since the fall of 2017, has had its quote unquote for now final episode. Ever since not just the beginning, I know, and I'm going to talk about this more in the new rendition of whatever is coming, but ever since the beginning of the year, ever since upgrading my name, ever since Easter of this year, which is 2020, I have had some downloads, and there has been something that has not been coming through the way that it usually has. And so it's been clear to me, and I shared this on the Magdalene Voices as well. For me, integrity, authenticity, and alignment are key elements for me. And so whenever there's something that is not right or seems to be off, I do not want to be putting out stuff just to be putting out stuff. That is beyond me. It's out of alignment. It's not truthful. It's just... I don't ever just want to have to put myself into a box and have to live through that if it doesn't resonate. I have done that enough in my life, and I've shared that plenty of times, and I'm done. I also shared on the Magdalene Voices that sometimes that is to my detriment. Sometimes that is not the financially wise and sound decision. It would be better just to keep going, and you have this brand, you got to keep going. but that's not who I am as a spiritual being having a human experience. I have to be truthful to that which is asking to be born through me. I have to be in alignment with that which is coming through me. And so I can't remember if I already shared this. Today is actually going to be the for now. And I think that maybe the for now is just my way of not being able to say goodbye. I remember back when the pandemic of 2020 started and I was in the US and I had to leave all of a sudden because shit was going down, and it was recommended that you stay in the countries where you had your permanent residence and, healthcare. I remember having to leave my friends and I suck at saying goodbye, so it was just like bye, and then just taking off. And I think that may be what's coming through here as well. I just don't. It's not that I don't want to leave you hanging. It's just like I'm not going away. Just to be clear, I am not going away. I love spiritual business so hard because I know what happens when we, as soul-driven, heart-based spiritual entrepreneurs and Macklins Rising, do what our soul's divine purpose is. Like, when we do that, I know what happens. The world becomes a better place. That supports the healing, the awakening, the transformation, and the ascension or the elevation of the frequency and the vibration of all, not just some, but all. And so I don't want to share because there's still things there's downloading. So to be clear, there is going to be a new format. There's going to be a new show and a new podcast. I don't want to share exactly specifically what it is yet, even though it is bubbling within me. However, what I do want to share from a business perspective is that I want to give you the opportunity to review. At the time of this recording, we're right in the middle of Mercury retrograde, and what better time to be reviewing, recharging, renewing, rebranding, researching, reminding, all of the re's really. And maybe you have something that has been A, asking for you to let it go, and B, asking for you to be born through you. Whether that is a book or an app or an education or a new podcast or a new service or a new product, a new course, a new whatever it may be. And maybe that thing cannot really truly come through you until you shed and let go of what needs to be shed and let go of. And sometimes, because again, I shared this already on the Macklin Voices and with the Spiritual Business Podcast, I have had so many views and listens and shares of these two shows over the years, for which I am tremendously grateful. Not just for me personally, but for what happens with the content that I share, knowing that serves. Literally, it's impossible to express how magnificent of a feeling that is, bliss that is, to know that serves you in some way, shape, or form. And that doesn't mean that letting go of two of my babies it's not like difficult. And when I say difficult, I want to say that the difficult period has mostly been up until this point. It's mostly been on not understanding, why am I not being driven to invite people? Why am I not being driven to, why is there not? and maybe in hindsight, I should have been clear enough, should have seen the signs along the way being, oh, this is it. But maybe you're stubborn like me and you're not willing to see all of how everything literally says, beep, beep, beep. It's like literally telling you. I didn't know. And now I do. And it was based on a clear download that I had the other week where the next evolution of my work came through. And then it was clear that, oh, this is what I have to do and I want to do. Because when we create that space, when we clear that out, you create space for the new. And that's also why I won't be sharing a whole lot about the new that's coming. I want to honor this space and just be in that letting go. Checking if there's anything else. This year marks my 10th year as a spiritual business coach. And that might sound very fancy and all that, but the first couple of years I was really stumbling and fumbling and not sure that I wanted to be a spiritual business coach, because what was a spiritual business coach and what did they do and how do you combine structure and organization and all the clear downloads that I received from my clients. Just the other week we had like a beautiful name came through, and now one of my clients is running with that, which is amazing. So receiving all that, how do you put that into a package and tell people this is what I do? But I have, and I do, and I still do my work as a spiritual business coach. I have added the energy alignment method as a tool as well. I'm still a catalyst and a facilitator, and there's going to be more stuff coming through, and I am so excited to be sharing it with you. But for now, this is the Spiritual Business Show and Podcast. The Spiritual Business Show and Podcast, the episodes themselves are not going away. They will stay up. You can listen to them or watch, like wherever you're listening to your podcast, you can watch them on YouTube. And I would love for you to share the information far and wide, because like I said, the more people this serves, the better it is and the better our world becomes. That's why I do what I do. And I would love for you to share them. I would love for you to comment. I would love for you to review if you have enjoyed any part of what I've shared at some point. I would love for you to leave a comment wherever you're listening to this. I would love for you to leave a review wherever you're listening to this, because like I said, I'm not taking it down. I'm not someone who usually lights a torch and just burns and then walks away. I'm going to leave it up because I understand that this really, really serves a lot of people. I can see that on the numbers. So yeah. And I'm just checking to see if there's anything else. I understand. You would think that I had planned recording this. I hope that you can still see me throughout this light. You would think that I have, but this is my sanctuary and the light comes through at times. If you are a soul-driven, heart-based spiritual entrepreneur, and a masculine rising, and you're looking for a powerful, brilliant spiritual business coach, energy alignment method mentor, catalyst, and facilitator, I am still open for business. I am still very much open for business. You can check me out on Saraphina.com. You can go to mariasaraphina.com/apply to be in a sacred, committed relationship or partnership with me about you and your work. Other than that, I am just going to say stay tuned, because this is just the next phase and the next evolution, and there will be an episode where I will be sharing the next evolution of this work, which I'm very excited about. And for now, I just want to say thank you so much for having walked with me, whether you've listened to one or many of the episodes, whether you've listened to all of them, whether you are very often I hear that you find these episodes and then you literally binge on them, and then you reach out to me and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that someone is actually speaking my language. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Or whether you're someone who's never reached out to me but just have enjoyed it. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for taking what serves you and leaving the rest. It is an honor and a pleasure. It's an honor, and it's not something that I take lightly, because I understand that we live in a world where there's a lot of options and possibilities. So you walking with me is not something that I take for granted. That is what I'm going to leave you with for now. I love you and take care. That is what I have for you in today's episode of Spiritual Business with Maria Saraphina. I hope it served you well. For all the deeds and details, click the link in the description. And if you enjoyed this episode, support its message by sharing it with a friend or on social media. You can also choose to leave me a comment or a review. I love you. God bless.